Morning, Scott.
Morning, Nick.
What are you working on?
Well, we did a podcast recently on divination, and we talked about Urim and Thummim stuff and how that's used. And there's actually a cool tablet, LKA 137, two publications on this. This tablet is really interesting because it's called, and I don't know how to say it right, Cephomancy or Cephomancy, I don't know, but I can read you the ritual. Can I read the ritual? Is that okay?
Well, can you?
Yeah. All right. This is one thing that's really interesting about it is there's two very different interpretations of what's going on in this text. I'll read the one that I like better, and I'm working on putting my own together, but whatever. So it's an incantation. It starts, I call upon you, O Shamash, Lord of blah, blah, blah. Within the midst of pure heavens, I carry the star, I touch it to my forehead, blah, blah, blah. He makes this offering because you have to have an offering when you're trying to figure out what's going on with the divine. And in this incantation, this is what he has to do. He has to draw on the ground these seven gods, Sin, Shamash, Adad, Marduk, Urash, Guba, Dagon, and Nabiun. I drew them, and now I'm lifting up these stones. If a judgment is imminent, and my appeal is found favorable, O Baal, in your heart let there be no judgment, O Shamash, in your heart let there be a revelation. Let the stone of desire jump up. Let hands something broken tablet. If a judgment is not imminent, and my appeal is found unfavorable, O Baal, in your heart there will be no judgment. And then there's a note on the back that says, it's a ritual. It says, or it's ritual, sorry. On an appropriate day, you draw these seven gods on the ground. You recite the incantation. I call upon you, Shamash, within heaven, blah, 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 3 times over the white and black stones. Afterwards, you put the inquiry to the gods, and it will be reliable. So they have this inquiry of these 2 different stones that allows a very easily understandable interpretation, rather than like opening up a liver and trying to figure out all the folds of it or something like this. This is just black and white stones, easy peasy. So I'm working on translating this and understanding what's going on there because I think it helps with Urim and Thummim, how it's used in Samuel. But more interestingly, this ritual doesn't originate, it's an Assyrian tablet, but it doesn't come from Assyria. It looks like this actually comes from the region where in Deuteronomy it says, a wandering Aramean was my father. That comes from that region. But it looks like it originates with that culture. And more interesting, even, the whole casting lots thing comes from that area and north of that area. So it kind of puts me on this whole, like, what is casting lots really about? What's the background to it? And that's Hittite stuff, so I got to get to that. What is this black and white stone thing? Because it doesn't have, it's not like, there's no other Assyrian tablets like this. It only shows up after the Assyrians take over that territory. So it's putting me on this big quest to try to figure out what's going on with Urim and Thummim, and then casting lots that shows up in Proverbs and in a few other places. So that's what I'm working on, Nick.